It did it. It did it again.
Just turn on your video and you're fine.
I know, I lost it.
There you go.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to First Church Unitarian right here in beautiful Littleton, Massachusetts, online. My name is Lara Semple, and I serve on the standing committee. There are a few things I'd like to bring to your attention in community matters. This coming Friday, our RE program is meeting live at the church. So I see that we are welcome to join them. So if you're not doing anything Friday afternoon from 3:15 to 4:15, why don't you head on down to the church and hang out with some really cool and fun and fabulous people. So another thing I'd like to draw to your attention is the Littleton Park and Rec Department is continuing their Holiday Helpers Wish List program. So typically we would choose our star in person, but we won't be able to do that this year. So there is a link in your Community Matters where you can go online and select the gift that you would like to provide for this fabulous program. If you have any questions, please reach out to Debbie Ested. She'd be more than happy to help you. We also have a vigil happening today at 2 p.m. at Littleton Common. So that's all for now. You can always just go directly to the Community Matters, which is emailed to you on Friday. So with that, I just extend another very warm welcome to you. We are so glad you have joined us on this beautiful, bright and brisk November morning. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Molly Lozeau. I am the music director at First Church Unitarian, and I'd like to introduce the Prelude for you today. You'll be hearing a lot of Mozart today. I don't know, I felt like Mozart would be appropriate for calming things down after this Thanksgiving holiday, for me at least. And I'd like to share that with you. The first piece you'll hear for the Prelude is the very beginning of his Sonata in C major. And if you listen to any sort of classical radio or classical music, you will most likely recognize this. So here is the opening of the Piano Sonata in C major by Mozart.
Is there anything left to be said about the blaze of autumn leaves, the way they let go with such graciousness, how they dance on the wind and crunch under the feet and glow in the afternoon light? Maybe just this: the colors fade. They turn sodden as milky cereal in the gutters and sidewalk. The trees look tattered and then vulnerable, and exposed. It turns out that loss is really loss, which is every bit as much a part of the story as autumn's glamour. Listen, you are not obliged to be beautiful. You don't have to shine. Blooming will happen when it happens. If you can be still for a moment, you might notice that the roots that feed you are still reaching silently through the dark. The words of Lynn Ungar. Let us worship. Now is the time for lighting a chalice, if you have a chalice at home or a candle, and saying the words of our covenant. And this morning we will be led by Madelyn Hammer.
Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
This is the first Sunday of the Christian season of Advent. And so, as is the tradition for this congregation, we will be lighting candles on our Advent wreath every Sunday during this season. I'm going to light the first candle now and then come back and say a few words. The first Sunday of Advent, we light the candle symbolizing hope. The words you're about to hear are the words of Macrina Wiederkehr, a Benedictine monastic. I was just thinking one morning during prayer how much alike hope and baking powder are. Quietly getting what is best in me to rise, awakening the hint of eternity within. May this first Advent candle, the candle of hope, indeed help the best in us to rise up. May it be so. So good morning and welcome to First Church Unitarian here in Littleton, Massachusetts. My name is Lara Hoke, and I'm so happy and so lucky to be the minister serving this amazing congregation. I just want to do a few thank yous. Thank you, first of all, to Chris Ursuline, who puts out the Community Matters newsletter each week, but she also decorated the sanctuary. I mean, right? It looks great in here. It's so lovely. I hope you're enjoying it as a backdrop as much as I'm enjoying being in here with it. So thank you, Chris. Thank you to Laura Semple for reading or doing our welcoming and Community Matters this morning. Thank you to Madelyn Hammer for our chalice lighting and covenant words. Thank you to Molly Lozeau, as always, for the beautiful music. Thank you to Susan Palmer, who will do our story this morning, Our Time for All Ages. And thanks once again to Mike Pillman for doing the tech and showing the videos. And without any further ado, it will be time for the opening hymn. I don't have my board, so I'm doing the best I can. 437, Gather the Spirit.
You can look in your hymnal. You can also look on the screen for the words. And this is a song that has a repetition of the chorus, and you'll see that in a different color on your screen. Please sing along or listen if you would like. Thank you.
Gather the
Thank you, Molly. It's wonderful to hear that hymn again. It's been a little while. It's a great Unitarian Universalist favorite by Jim Scott. It's my pleasure now to introduce our Time for All Ages, a story called The Color Monster, told by our own chair of the Religious Education Committee, Susan Palmer. Enjoy.
Hi, I have a story today called The Color Monster, a story about emotions by Llenas. This is the color monster. He woke up feeling confused and he doesn't know why. Are you all mixed up again, color monster? Your emotions don't work well when they're all jumbled up. You should try to separate them and put each one in its own jar. If you'd like, I can help you. Let's try to make sense of how you feel. This is happiness. It shines like the sun and twinkles like the stars. When you're happy, you laugh and jump and dance and play. You want to share your happiness with everyone. This is sadness. It is lonely and blue like a rainy day. It washes over you like the sea. When you're sad, you hide and want to be alone. You don't want to do anything except maybe cry. It's okay to cry, color monster. This is anger. It burns red like fire and is hard to stamp out. When you're angry, life can feel unfair. Sometimes you want to take out your anger on others, but I'll be nice to you, color monster, and your anger will disappear. This is fear. It hides and runs away like a mouse in the night. When you're afraid, you feel tiny. You think you don't have any courage to face the gray shadows, but I can help you find your way. This is calm. It is quiet like the trees and as light as green leaves swaying in the wind. When you're calm, you breathe slowly and deeply. You feel at peace. Now you can rest, color monster. All your feelings are in the right place. See? Don't you feel much better? Uh-oh, I see you're feeling something new. You look different, color monster. Tell me, how do you feel now?
Thank you so much, Susan. So appreciate that. What a great book. Beautiful pictures and colors. This is the time in our service where we take our morning offering. First Church Unitarian in Littleton is self-supporting, and we rely on the generosity of our members and friends to keep us going and doing our good works for each other, but also out in the community at large. If you are able to share some of your treasure with us this morning, you could send a check to us. The address is here. You'll see it on the screen. And also, if you wish, you could go to the website. You'll also see the address there and look for the donate button, which is a yellow button. And there you can make a gift online if you prefer, and it will tell you all the ins and outs of doing that once you get there. So we appreciate your generosity, and this morning's offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation.
For your music today, you're going to hear a very beautiful piano piece by Carolyn Setliff. I spelled her name incorrectly in the order of service that you saw. It's Setliff. And she has written lots of music for her students to play, and a couple of years ago gathered them together and published them. And they're all very relaxing and very beautiful. This particular piece is called Sunset Splendor, and it is in a book called Romantic Reflections. So it's kind of in a romantic style, which means it's very like connected together and maybe a little mushy and very beautiful and lyrical. So I hope you enjoy this morning.
one of those people who can be like a kid at Christmas. I love Christmas. I love the music. I love the decorations. I love the food and the sweets that are so often on offer this time of year. I love the lights. I've loved the Christmas Eve service ever since I was a little kid, going to the Unitarian Church of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And yes, I do love gifts. I love giving them, and I admit I love getting them too. For me, it's always been a joyful time. One of the traditions in my adult life has been to drive to my hometown in Pennsylvania to see my family of origin right after Christmas. I often arrive the next day, December 26th, or Boxing Day, if you will. Sometimes I even drive down on Christmas Day. I open the presents Christmas morning in Massachusetts and eat lunch and hit the road and get to Pennsylvania just in time for my mother's annual Christmas night party. I've done that every year of my adult life, with the exception of 3 years that I was stationed overseas in the Navy when I was in my early 20s. I remember one of those Christmases especially well, the Christmas of 1992. It was my second year in the Navy, stationed in Naples, Italy. It would be the second Christmas after my brother's death by suicide. I had an older friend at that time in her late 40s, and this was to be her first Christmas after a divorce that had left her reeling. I invited her to come and visit over Christmas. I knew it would be a good distraction for that first Christmas without her husband, and it was. You could certainly give someone a great week traveling out from my apartment in Naples, Italy. We saw the Amalfi Coast and other attractions right near Naples. We even took a train up to Venice. And I was able to offer her perhaps the best Christmas distraction of all. We went to midnight mass at the Vatican that Christmas Eve in Rome. Neither one of us was Catholic, but it was impossible not to appreciate the pageantry and the splendor of the occasion. Pope John Paul II was the celebrant, and it was really something. I remember it vividly, almost 30 years later. My friend was so grateful, so appreciative for the diversion that I had provided. She even said that I had saved her life, but I know that was an exaggeration. I do know, though, that it was good for her to do something different, dramatically different that year, that very blue Christmas. She was still missing her ex-husband and the Christmases that she had known with him for decades. And I was missing my family of origin and wished, especially so soon after my brother's death, that I could be with them. We were there, my friend and I, sitting in the midst of midnight mass at the Vatican, surely the place to be on Christmas Eve, but our hearts were still back in small town Pennsylvania. This year, this Christmas, will be the first time that I will not get to see my Pennsylvania family since those early 90s days in the Navy overseas. The pandemic, the spikes in COVID-19, all the quarantine rules and so on, it all makes it a very bad idea to make that trip this year. And so I'm going to have a little bit of a blue Christmas this year. And I know I'm not alone. Whether you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or the solstice or Yule or Kwanzaa or some combination of these holidays or others, the holiday season of 2020 will be one of many losses, many people missing each other. Perhaps you too will be unable to visit with dear loved ones this year. Maybe you already had your first tough 2020 holiday experience this past week with Thanksgiving. The holidays can always be hard or lonely, depending on one's circumstances. But this year, for better or for worse, the misery is being spread around and shared widely. This morning, I want you to know that I see you and I feel you, and you and I are not alone. And for many of us, next year's holiday season could be better. At least I have hope that next year's holiday season will be better. Hope will keep me going this holiday season. This morning's first Advent candle was for hope. Advent in general is about waiting for something new and better to be born in your life. Surely this Advent season, we are all waiting expectantly for something better. We have hope that the promising vaccines and vaccinations on the horizon will change things. And we have hope that perhaps this time next year will be much, much better. I have the hope that I will spend the week after Christmas 2021 with my Pennsylvania family. And I have hope that you will spend your holidays in 2021 with the people you want to spend them with too. You might be struggling with other issues this holiday season, things that might be somewhat exacerbated by the pandemic or things that have nothing directly to do with the pandemic at all. You or your loved ones might be having health woes or struggling with finances and economics. Perhaps you've lost a loved one. Maybe you're facing the loss of a relationship or emotional turmoil in your life of some kind. Maybe you always struggle with depression this time of year. For these reasons and countless others, you might be having a hard time. One thing that is different this year, one of those strange pandemic silver linings, I suppose, is that there will be less of that forced happiness feel this holiday season. It will be hard to deny that everyone will be merely doing the best they can, making the most of a difficult situation for many. It doesn't mean that you won't feel lonely, but it means that this year more than ever, you are not at all alone in your feelings. November's Soul Matters theme is healing. What could bring healing this holiday season? One thing that comes to mind is letting go. Or better yet, as they say in 12-step programs, let go and let God. Or I could translate that for non-theists to let go and let the wondrous mystery of the universe, the wondrous mystery of existence, take the lead. One good idea for some of us might be letting go of our usual expectations. Unitarian Universalist minister Sharon Wiley writes, when you let go of how things should be, a whole new world opens up. When you let go of the usual traditions and expectations, a space opens up for something new and different. That's where you can let God or let the wondrous mysteries of existence lead you to something different, but maybe just as lovely. It often helps to step outside yourself and do something for someone else. With perhaps less merrymaking and partying and traveling to do this year, with that extra time, can you do something good for someone else? I know I can. I bet you can too. It will probably make us feel a lot better. I told you about my Christmas back in 1992. when I was able to help my friend with an amazing diversion, well, that helped me too. In the end, it was really one of the best and certainly one of the most memorable Christmases of my life, in spite of it all. December is almost here. The Soul Matters theme for December is stillness. I think stillness is something else that can bring healing, actually, this holiday season. With less merrymaking, less partying, and less traveling, there's an opportunity for stillness. There's an opportunity for mindful, deliberate stillness. Perhaps this is a wonderful opportunity, a wonderful year to really let the solstice heal us. So much about modern Christmas tradition is about distracting us from the darkness of this time of year. The days are shorter and shorter, the light is less, and this can be hard for those of us who have seasonal affective disorder. But this year, with less busyness, I want to spend more time in stillness, appreciating the darkness and the peace that it can bring, the beauty that it can bring. The starkness of winter has its own beauty. This December, I want to spend more time appreciating the nighttime sky, the crisp air of the season. I will try to appreciate as mindfully as I can the delicious feeling of waiting expectantly in the true spirit of Advent for better days ahead. But I remember too, as Unitarian Universalist minister Lynn Ungar's words in our call to worship put it, sometimes it turns out that loss is really loss. You don't have to shine. Blooming will happen when it happens. If you can be still for a moment, you might notice that the roots that feed you are still reaching silently through the dark. We can let go of expectations and let in the opportunity to do something completely different, to do something for someone else. We can embrace the stillness, the calmness, the dark. We can appreciate the feeling of hopeful anticipation. And then we can take in the gift of our sophisticated powers of perception, specifically a thing that is known in developmental psychology as object permanence. That is, we know that just because we don't see someone or hear them, it doesn't mean they're not there. I remind you, as I did last Sunday, people who care about you quite a bit are just a phone call or a Zoom meeting away. Please, please reach out. I'm not in the same room with you right now, and yet I sort of am. And it's kind of lovely, isn't it? We can do this. We still have each other. We all need somebody to lean on. Let's lean on each other. It's the holiday season, and I know together we'll make it through. I love you, and I feel your love. Blessed be, and amen. And of course, our closing hymn will be 1021, Lean on Me.
This is in our teal hymnal, or again, you will see the words up on your screen. I invite you to listen or sing along as loudly as you want in our closing hymn, Lean on Me.
Always tomorrow.
Friends, it is time now for our closing words. And yes, if we were together, if you were here with me in the sanctuary, we'd form something like a circle and hold hands for the closing words. But as is our tradition now online, I invite you, if there's somebody there with you and you can safely hold hands, please do that. If you are, however, alone in a room, as I am here alone in the sanctuary, I invite you to put your hands together and feel that warmth. And imagine the wonderful people of this very special community. Imagine that they're all here with you, because they are. And let us now hear these closing words. Friends, if ever there were an Advent season for expectant waiting for something better to be born, this is that Advent season. Today, the first Sunday of Advent, we think especially of hope and the gift of hope. We think with our Advent candle lighting words of Macrina, Wiederkehr, how hope can help what is best in us to rise. May we prepare room in our hearts this Advent season, the season of other wonderful holidays and celebrations as well. May we have room in our hearts for others and rise in hope to our best by helping others, by being still and listening for life's most important callings. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen.
I invite you to listen to our postlude today, which is another Mozart piece. It's from his Sonata in A major, also known as Rondo alla Turca. And this is one of my favorite songs to listen to and to play.